up, everybody? This is Robert. I guess it's close to 2 o'clock. I don't even see the time. Yeah, it's got to be close to 2 on Wednesday Central Time. So about 30 minutes ago, I went to the hearing in regards to me disobeying an order. I was found guilty, and I am right now. They gave me like 2 hours to appeal through the kiosk, so I get to appeal it. And they have to get paperwork ready, and then they're going to send me to the hole for 5 days. I will say that I was a little bit surprised when I went in there. So one of the things that happens in a disciplinary hearing, again, it's all part of due process, okay? So for people that don't understand, well, everybody pretty much understands due process. A person, you have a constitutional right to due process. So if you're charged with something, you have the right to explain, commit, deny, or whatever. In these hearings, there's a standard. Everybody's familiar with proof beyond a reasonable doubt. There's also something called being found guilty or innocent by preponderance of the evidence. Typically, proof beyond a reasonable doubt is for criminal convictions. The preponderance of evidence standard usually applies in like parole revocations or supervised release revocation or petition to revoke revocations. And then there's a lower one, which is greater weight of the evidence standard, which is like 51% you did it. That's the lowest of standards. Typically, it has been my experience that in DHO hearings, except for one institution, they use the greater weight of the evidence standard. And preponderance of the evidence standard, and it's all been greater weight of the evidence. The BOP uses greater weight of the evidence standard. Anyway, the first question I had when I walked in was, which standard of proof are you using? And I caught them off guard, and they didn't even know what I was talking about. Which right there, I felt should have been thrown out, because you have to. My defense on what I was going to say was based on that evidence standard. It makes a huge difference. Nevertheless, okay, so got past that. And it was a female disciplinary officer, actually a really nice lady, I'll give her that. But my argument was that the document provided to me, which is like an indictment or a criminal complaint, did not say what order I disobeyed. There was a talk about me not going to court because of a shave. There was talk about me not walking down the stairwells. There was talk about me not getting out of my bunk. But there was nothing that said, I, officer so-and-so, said this, and he disobeyed. I, officer, gave him a direct order, and he disobeyed. Not one. If anybody cares, they can go back and listen to the original thing that I did when I read the charging document. Anyway, I stuck with that defense. I had some witnesses that came in, and they said they couldn't understand it either. There was a lot of telling me what they were going to do, but not giving me an order. Okay? So, anyway, I stuck to the fact that the document does not state a claim, so to speak. That's not the right legal jargon, but it does not state exactly what order I disobeyed. Nevertheless, I was found guilty, and it will be the equivalent of being charged in a federal indictment with distribution of drugs, a certain amount to a certain person, but then the jury or the judge finding me guilty of conspiracy, which has nothing to do with the actual indictment. It's the same exact thing what just happened. Okay? I just appealed it. Like I said, they gave me time to appeal. They can come back and give me less time, or they can uphold their decision, or they can say I won the appeal. I will say that I will file a suit on it, the lawsuit, because it's actually people that don't understand. It is part of, and I'm laughing because it is part of a criminal justice reform. I started this channel. It was about telling prison stories with the overarching theme of going towards criminal justice reform. This is part of criminal justice reform. And I know the bread and water crowd would be, wah, cry me a river. Well, I want to say this. Don't get near any large bodies of water, Great Lakes, creeks, rivers, and streams, because they'll be overflowing. So this is this is part of reform. These hearings, many would call them kangaroo court hearings. I'm not going to demean them that way. They are very professional here. I will give them that 100%. But nevertheless, they have to actually take into consideration some constitutional issues, and it was apparent that they kind of did not. And I think that a court would be able to force the issue. And I think U.S. Magistrate Judge Comstock might be bored sometimes, so she might want to see me. Sorry. I'll say that. Anyway, I was thinking, I don't have any court proceedings left, so it's like, It's like the first time in my life I'm going to be off paper when I get out. And I'm so used to going to court or something hanging over my head. It's like, maybe I want to file suit so I can go back to court and see my peeps. The judge, the magistrate, the prosecutor, the defense attorneys. Those are like my peeps, you know. Yeah, I'm laughing anyway. But nevertheless, yeah. So, and I figured I was going to get found guilty for sure. That's just how these things usually work. I have been good at beating them in the past, but whatever. If I win the appeal in the next couple hours, I'll go back and say that. Probably do another recording. What else? There was something else I was thinking about. In regards to the court shave, what started this all? This started off not necessarily on the court shave. 4 times in the past, they allowed me to use a razor to shave my head and not cut my goatee, okay? That's what this all is. And then one day they decide that the jail policy is that you can't shave your head with a razor and you have to shave your goatee if you want to touch it at all the way off your face. That's their policy. And that's never happened. That's what started the whole thing. So there's people, somebody had said to me, I can't believe this is stupid. It was all over court shave. Let me tell you something about a court shave. When you go to court, you want to be the best you can be. You want to present yourself the way you look in the best manner you can be. I don't want to go in there looking like Homer Simpson or a guy named Shane Lyon down in Hartford that has like the whole little ring around his head. I'm not knocking people that do that. That's not me. So I always I'd shave my head with a razor every couple days. So it's not that big of a deal. Some would say I made more of a bigger deal out of it. The reason I actually did is because of the officer's attitude, calling me Razzo, and then tell me that he can hold me down and shave my face. That was, back when I was a kid, or when I had a life sentence, that I probably would have swung. Fortunately, I went through anger management when I was in the Bureau of Prisons and was able to actually use one of the tools, and that's the truth. Camera check, stop, think about it, and then my reaction was, well, I'm not going to court. Maybe immature if you want to say it, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's the principle. And guess what? Today, they came in for some federal prisoners and allowed them the court shave that I always got. It was like a one-off in a one day. Anyway. So just let me throw that out there. That's what happened today. That's about it. I will let you know if you don't hear another recording from me today, then I'm in the hole. By the way, in the past when I used to go to the hole, there's several times I didn't play nice with others in close confinement, and I let them know that. And because of my knee right now, which my meniscus was torn the other day, because of my knee, medical condition, there's blood. Nobody wants to be in a cell with somebody who might be pissing blood or leaking from their bladder. And that's the case that's happening now a little bit. Nobody wants to do that. They also, so they have allowed it. They're making accommodations to put me in a cell, let me have my mattress, and typically they only let you have a Bible or religious stuff, but they're letting me bring my NA book. That's all I've read since I've been here is NA. I've been through it twice. I'm back on going to the 3rd time. And on that, I used to look at people in AA, especially the guys that had, 10 plus years sobriety, and they're going over and over and over and over the book. And I used to think, wow, let me tell you something. Every time I go through it, something different comes out. So there is something to that book, and there is something about rereading it, and it's helping me find, hopefully, where I can get to a place where I can actually apply that into my life permanently. I'm hoping, but who knows? I hate making promises to myself more than anybody else. So I'm tired of broken promises to myself. So anyway, that's what I have to say. I'm glad and fortunate that they have allowed those accommodations, and I very much appreciate that. And ending this, I just want to say, ti amo, little Barcelona. That's all.